There is a silent killer in the community.
LA has some of the highest concentration of oil industry in the States and in the country.
Every day, thousands of LA County residents breathe contaminated air. This indescribable pain has been intentionally concentrated in communities of color who simultaneously face the effects of too many other social injustices.
I want to see a world where the oil industry does not have an absolute right to pull up every drop of oil and the rest of us be damned.
Los Angeles was known as the Saudi Arabia of America, and the landscape used to be, in many parts of the city, carpeted with oil derricks.
It's no coincidence that these drill sites ended up where they did. There is this pattern of sacrificial zoning.
For us to say that it is okay to sacrifice BIPOC people for corporate interests, that says something about who we are as a city and who we are as a nation.
Wilmington, California, it's in the southernmost tip of the LA basin. We have people of color, Black, Indigenous, and so our community is really a representation of a lot of us.
We have 5 major oil refineries in the Wilmington region. We have some of the most toxic facilities. We're next to the ports. We are surrounded by freeways. And so there are so many different types of pollution that are impacting our lives every single day.
Think about the folks that have grown up near these facilities that have a diminished lifespan because of that constant exposure to toxins.
Environmental justice is the right to breathe clean air, drink clean water, and making that possible for everyone.
My daughter and other kids develop asthma, stomach pain, different health issues.
My story really begins at the age of 9. I grew up 30 feet across the street from an active oil and gas well in my community. I started getting really sick out of nowhere. I started getting headaches, stomach pains. My activism stemmed from survival. I never woke up one morning and decided to be an activist. I woke up one morning and I decided to fight for my right to open my windows in my home. On January 15th of 2020, I heard the words nobody wants to hear. You have cancer. I had just turned 19, and I turned 19 on December 19th in 2019, so I swore it was like my golden year, but unfortunately, life had other plans. I went through 3 surgeries, 6 weeks of radiation, and I would go 5 times a week. When I was diagnosed, I only had one question, which was, can I have kids? And my doctor tearfully answered no, and I immediately thought back to a sign on the oil well that I have read thousands of times that reads, dangerous chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, and reproductive harm. Our communities deserve to breathe clean air in our own homes. We deserve to open our windows and not worry about letting in toxins.
It is urgent that we get rid of oil drilling in the city of Los Angeles.
We have to work on the worst air pollution issues. Therefore, we have to work on the environmental justice issues because those are the communities that are facing the worst problems.
We need to do something.
Justice denied! Justice delayed is justice denied! Justice delayed is justice.
What we're working against is environmental racism. What we're working towards is environmental justice.
And so each of us had our individual campaigns against these drill sites. But what we realized is that we have more power if we're able to come together. Stand LA stands for Stand Together Against Neighborhood Oil Drilling.
Unity brings power. That is a very important concept to us.
Power is something that we share. and we define what power is. And I think spaces and collectives and relationships like the ones that foundations like Liberty Hill have been able to create with others have really allowed us to redefine what power is.
It's really exciting every day to be on the front line fighting for communities of color, and we couldn't do this without Stand LA, and we couldn't do this without Liberty Hill.
Liberty Hill has always united power and purpose.
We've provided funding to the community organizations who are supporting the folks who are directly impacted and advocating to end neighborhood oil drilling. We've provided connections to our network of elected officials, foundation funders, individual donors, researchers, academics.
And that made a huge difference in us feeling like we could win. Because some communities had been fighting the refineries for so long that it just felt like this big oil is too big, it's too strong.
Today is historic. Today, I'm proud to say an all-female board of supervisors in the most populous county in the nation will vote to codify the end of urban oil drilling.
Eventually, there was a judgment that was passed against Alanco, and they were fined over $1.25 million.
Alanco Energy is actually the first urban oil field to be closed in the nation. Oh, I get emotional just saying that. Wow. We did that.
I see it as an important milestone. The oil ordinance is going to be litigated. It's already being challenged by the oil industry. And so we have so much work to do to make sure that over this 20-year phase-out period, that the city will protect the children and families of our community.
Even though the legislators and these politicians will tell you they will end it, we have to fast track that. We don't want to wait 20 years, so how do we get them to move faster? And the way we can do that is continue the fight.
We are resilient. We are extraordinarily resilient. While they have corporate power and they might have lobbying power, we have the people on our side, and that means that we're going to win.
Years ago, we were talking about individual sites, and now we're talking about full city phase-outs, and in the next 10 years, who knows?
If it can happen in South LA, it can happen where you live.
Well, I want the city of Los Angeles to step up and fight for the health of our communities, fight for the setbacks with everything they have.
No drilling where we're living.
No drilling where we're living.
No drilling where we living.
No drilling where we're living.
Yes, this is a David and Goliath story, but remember, David won.
No drilling where we're living.